Opponent attempts to catch a sludge bomb onto Bastiodon. Oh trainer, that is some mistake. Bastiodon usually super bulky, super annoying, but Poliwrath's going to say, hi Bastiodon, bye Bastiodon, get absolutely wrecked. Welcome back to the channel. The Great League has always been dominated by water types in the early seasons. Pokemon like Azumeril, Swampert and whisdaddycash were absolutely everywhere and very top tier dominant threats. In more recent seasons, due to the release of new Pokemon and move updates, we've seen Pokemon like Jellicent, Pelipper aka the Flying Toilet. And of course, how can we forget Season 15's move update, giving the Quagman access to Mud Bomb. So to be fair, we're already quite spoilt for choice on water types. However, the last two comdays have seen two new water types get the buff. Poliwrath getting access to Counter, Greninja getting access to both Water Shuriken and Hydro Cannon. So today we're going to see how these two new water type threats are going to fare in the Open Great League. Today's battles have been submitted to the channel by Vegeta. Shout out Dragon Ball Z, what a program that was when I was growing up. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1 we'll lead Venusaur into Sableye. Venusaur, especially in his shadow form, is one very angry plant in the Great League. We've already forced both shields off the opponent Vegeta, gonna save shield advantage for our double water backline. Vegeta sends in Greninja and my god, look at the energy generation on this frog. This is ridiculous. We're already well past the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon vanquishes Sableye. Back to their Pokeball. The opponent sends out Swampert. Pivot out into Ninetales. Ninetales going to be met with a Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon going to land for heavy neutral damage. We pivot out into Poliwrath. Poliwrath punches this Charmer all the way down. Back out comes Swampert. We've got the Scald. Locked and loaded. Scald won't be lethal. However, a couple more counters are going to be all she wrote. We're off to a very quick 1-0 start. GG's and thanks for playing. Vegeta is actually ABB weak to both Electric and Fairy, so I imagine in neutral leads, like the one we see against the Bear Trap, we're going to actually look to pivot out into one of our water types. However, we're actually going to stay in first, look to fire off a Frenzy Plant, we get shield advantage and there's the pivot, we come into Poliwrath, the opponent sends out Charizard and that is one very interesting counter swap for our water type. We are part fighting, so the wing attacks are hitting us for super effective, but the opponent shits their pants, shielding up the Ice Punch. Vegeta looking to shield up the Dragon Claw. We've already got the next Ice Punch locked and loaded. This is going to be Shadow on Shadow Crime. Shadow Charizard going to get vanquished back to their Pokeball. The opponent's final Pokemon is Venusaur. Do we make the Ice Punch? We do not. We get Vine Whip farmed all the way down. And we now enter the Shadow Venusaur mirror. We see the instant shield deployed on a potential Sludge Bomb. A good shield from Vegeta. We're now going to outpace to our own Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb only neutral. But Shadow and Shadow Crime going to be more than enough to secure the knockout. Back out comes Stunfisk. If the opponent full sends the Earthquake, which they do, we're going to get one shot. The opponent probably thinking, surely you don't have a third counter for us. Well, surprise trainer. Meet our third counter for you, you stupid Bear Trap. We shrug off the Earthquake damage, return fire with the Hydro Cannon, and that is going to be another GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see Defense Deoxys in the lead. A bit of a core breaker, to be honest. Defense Deoxys able to hit all three of our Pokemon for super effective. We stay in with Venusaur, farm up, fire off the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant hits like an absolute truck and we see the opponent invest the Protect Shield. The opponent farms up to the back-to-back Psycho Boost. Vegeta looking to shield the first. It will do the most damage. Psycho Boost does lower the opponent's attack by 2 stages, but just look how glassy Venusaur is. A double debuff Psycho Boost. Still almost takes us out, however, Venusaur hangs on. Returns fire with Frenzy Plant number 2. We get the Vine Whip farm down and we're looking to pivot into Poliwrath. The opponent sends out Umbreon and then concede the match. I imagine the opponent had Dugong in the back, a very popular team that was popularised by Zonic. Moving on to the next one. Great lead, Venusaur into the annoying Electric Fish. The opponent say switches into Trevenant and here comes Greninja. This is where Greninja's energy generation is absolutely absurd. We heavily outpace Trevenant. The opponent doesn't shield the Night Slash. We get the boost. Vegeta looking to ride his boost. We're going to shield up the next Seed Bomb. Commit to the resisted Water Shuriken farm down and now we're absolutely loaded. Back out comes Lantern. We throw one quick move and the Night Slash for optimal fast move timing. Water Shuriken, a very annoying 3-turn move, but the energy generation is really good. It's effectively a clone of like Snarl or Hex, but just more energy generation. We get the double boost. The opponent's got a Clefable lurking in the back. We fire off the Night Slash. The opponent fearful of the Hydro Cannon. Shield the first move. This time we're full sending the Hydro Cannon. Greninja forces both protections. We pivot back out into Venusaur. Moment of truth time. Does the opponent have Psychic? Probably not. Holy crap, even a non-stab Meteor Mash lands for heavy neutral damage. We make the Frenzy Plant, gonna vanquish Clefable back to their Pokeball, back out, comes Lantern. The opponent fires off the Surf, knocking us out, however, we've still got a full health Poliwrath. Poliwrath comes in, and 2 counters is going to be enough to claim the dub. Moving on to the next one. We see another core breaker in the form of Altaria. We pivot into Poliwrath, and things are not looking fantastic. As the opponent sends out Metachan, that is going to resist our counter damage, but my god, that Skull did a lot of damage. If the opponent goes for a silly Ice Punch, we will survive. The opponent full sends the Psychic, which is the correct play. However, this is going to allow Venusaur to come in, get the Vine Whip farm down before they make a potential Ice Punch. Venusaur gets the Vine Whip farm down, back out, comes Altaria. Vegeta very nicely over farms, firing off the Sludge Bomb on the CMP tie, immaculate fast move counting. Sludge Bomb gets Altaria down below half health. We're just going to sack Venusaur and put it all on Greninja. In comes our Frog, and the opponent instantly pivots out into Swampert. This is playable. Come on, show me the boost. RNG, please be kind. We fire off the Night Slash. We don't see a boost. The opponent just going to go straight Hydro Cannon at this stage. However, we need health. We shield up the Hydro Cannon. Greninja over farming. We're looking to tank the next Hydro Cannon. Greninja so glassy that Hydro Cannon gets us deep into the yellow. We then over farm, fire off the Night Slash. The opponent still hanging on to 2 Protect Shields. I've got no idea how we're in this game. We still don't get a boost. Back out comes Altaria. I think we're just going to get Dragon Breath farmed all the way down. Vegeta playing out the first Night Slash, gets the Protect Shield, and the opponent Dragon Breath farms us down. And unfortunately, we take a loss. Moving on to the next one. Venusaur into Ninetales. Not the best matchup if the opponent's running Powder Snow. However, a very good matchup when they're on Charm. We fire off the Frenzy Plant. The opponent lets it go, get one-shot return to their Pokeball, and then concede the match. Very strange, but GG's nonetheless. Moving swiftly on. Venusaur into Metachan. We do resist the counters, but both Ice Punch and Psychic will hit us for super effective. Venusaur strikes first with the Frenzy Plant. The opponent lets it go, and my god, look at the damage. Vegeta can shield this move up Vine Whip farm all the way down. The opponent recognises they're going to get farmed down and send out the Bear Trap, but here comes Poliwrath, counter tearing this Bear Trap to pieces. The opponent at an Earthquake, but Poliwrath doesn't give a fuck. We tank the Earthquake on the chin. Vegeta again over farms, throws the Ice Punch on the CMP tie. Ice Punch doesn't get same type attack bonus, but more than enough to secure the knockout. Back out comes Metachan. They counter farm us down. We now send out Venusaur. Venusaur looks for the Vine Whip farm down. Metachan on 1 HP and a Dream. Make the Ice Punch. Ice Punch doesn't quite take us out. Venusaur hangs on with 1 HP and a Dream. The opponent's final Pokemon is Public Enemy number 1, the Frenzy Plant. Drawed the first Protect Shield, and Wallface, you sir, are about to have a very tasty drink. Greninja so spammy. We fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon lands for heavy super effective damage. Greninja pretty glassy. We are going to have to shield up the Stone Edge, but Greninja too quick for this stupid brick wall. We're easily going to be able to outpace the 2 further Hydro Cannons. The first Hydro Cannon draws the last Protect Shield. We're at the back-to-back, and Wallface is about to get wrecked, and I fucking love to see it, as I hate that stupid brick wall. GG's, and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see the Flying Toilet. Not a particularly great matchup for Venusaur, but not the worst, as the opponent has to go all the way for a Hurricane to do any meaningful damage. We strike first with the Frenzy Plant. We see the Flying Toilet instantly put up a Protect Shield. Vegeta gonna call the Weather Ball bait. The opponent does masturbate us, then get scared, fearful of us making another Frenzy Plant and dump the remainder of our energy. Down goes Venusaur. Vegeta now sends in Greninja. The opponent pivots out into the Bear Trap. Trainer, are you serious? Greninja already at the first Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon near one-shots. Vegeta's going to be able to shield once. Water Shuriken all the way down. Not only is Greninja super spammy, my god does it hit hard. We've now got so much residual energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Venusaur, and Greninja going to start ripping off Night Slashes. The first one we see no boost. We throw one further quick move, and the next Night Slash. This is going to get Venusaur low. The opponent already down into the red. We come into Poliwrath. I imagine we're just going to completely sack it. Sorry, Poliwrath. Thanks for your contribution. Poliwrath used as the third shield. The opponent now send back out the toilet. Greninja so spammy. We fire off yet another Night Slash, drawing the final Protect Shield. The opponent is going to make a Weather Ball, and we're going to see the instant shield deployed. Does Greninja have enough HP to make 2 further Night Slashes? We throw 1 Water Shuriken and the Night Slash. We're going to need to survive 2 Vine Whips, Can we survive the 2 Vine Whips? No. Heartbreaking. We lose a super close game. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see an absolutely dreadful lead. We see the instant pivot into Poliwrath, and the opponent answers our Poliwrath safe switch with Clefable. This doesn't look fantastic, but if the opponent doesn't shield the Scald, which they do not, we could actually force switch here. Are we going to see Vegeta make a play at switch? No, we're not, but the opponent baits. Holy crap, that gives us a chance. Poliwrath now either going to take switch or force a shield. The opponent just sacked their fairy. Poliwrath is a Clefable counter confirmed. The opponent's final Pokemon is Metachan. We can now realign, sending out Venusaur. I believe that's only 7, so there's going to only be an Ice Punch. Vegeta agrees. We tank the Ice Punch. The opponent then looks to catch the Frenzy Plant onto Sand Slash. Vegeta says no, pivots out into Greninja. We're going straight for the kill shot of the Hydro Cannon. We see the opponent commit that shield. Vegeta looking to shield in return, and we see the opponent again masturbate. Mr. Opponent, think of all these poor cats you're harming with your horrible masturbating habit. Vegeta shields again. The opponent finally sends the Drill Run. The super spammy Frog now farms up to the back-to-back Night Slashes. Where is the opponent going to invest that final Protect Shield? They don't use it on Sand Slash. Back out comes Metachan. We're at the Hydro Cannon. Come on, trainer, give us that shield. The opponent doesn't shield the Hydro Cannon, but Greninja, still not done, reaches the Night Slash. Night Slash finally draws the final Protect Shield. Then we see that wham, bam, combo play. Venusaur serves up that Big Mac and the fries, and we take a glorious dub. GG's and thanks for playing. In the next battle, we see yet another Metachan in the lead. We like this in the lead. Let's see if this opponent is going to respect the Frenzy Plant. Vegeta farms up. CMP ties to a potential Psychic. Frenzy Plant does draw a Protect Shield. We see Vegeta shield in return, even if the opponent goes for an Ice Punch bait, which of course they are going to do. We're going to CMP tie to the next Frenzy Plant, but stay in school, kids. Learn to count. We actually catch the next Ice Punch onto Poliwrath, banking the Frenzy Plant in the process. Metachan stays in. We get some lag. However, we do make the Scald on what looks like to be a CMP tie. I've got no idea. I've got so much lag. Scald forces the final Protect Shield. Vegeta just going to sack Poliwrath once again, but the opponent again baits. However, it does allow them to get a very nice counter farm down, or at least they could have countered us down. The opponent gets scared, throw yet another Ice Punch. This puts Vegeta in a very nice position. After waiting out his clock, he can send back in Venusaur. We can overfarm again. Vegeta plays to the CMP tie. Beautiful, beautiful play. I love seeing people maximize energy, and Vegeta is doing that beautifully. The opponent sends out Drapion. We see the instant pivot into Greninja, and this ninja is so spammy. We're actually able to outpace my channel mascot Drapion to the potential Sludge Bomb. The opponent now at the Sludge Bomb. We see the Protect Shield deployed. Good shield as the opponent did full send the Sludge. However, they've got Reggie in the back. I don't think 2 Hydro Cannons are going to knock this thing out. However, I think we're actually going to get outpaced by maybe a turn to the Focus Blast. The opponent at the Blast. Blast will be one-shot, and it's now all down to Venusaur to clean up this battle. Venusaur now farms up, throws the Frenzy Plant. Frenzy Plant is hard hitting, but I don't think it's going to knock out. We're going to be forced to throw back-to-back. When Drapion returns, can Venusaur resist it? Vine Whip farm down before they make a charge move. Out comes Drapion, and Venusaur cleans up. Very nicely done. Moving on to the next one. Some great spice on display from the opponent. Using Porygon 2. The opponent throws the Tri-Attack. There's a 50% chance to lower our attack and defense, and of course they get the debuff. However, Venusaur hits like a truck. This is going to be debuffed, but the opponent actually make a catch. Yikes. A very nice play from the opponent, catching a debuff double resisted Frenzy Plant on their own Venusaur. God, we've seen a lot of Venusaur in this video. Vegeta, happy to see the Venusaur here. We've got the opposing Venusaur pretty low. We just sack our own Venusaur. I imagine we're going to come into Greninja, look to get the Water Shuriken farm down at the cost of 1 shield, and that's exactly what we see happen. We shield up the Frenzy Plant, commit to the Water Shuriken farm down. We are down a shield. We've got so much energy. Back out comes Porygon, and we're going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon goes unshielded. We then snipe with Poliwrath. It's now 2 versus 1, but the opponent does have shield advantage. The opponent's final Pokemon is Drifblim. Vegeta goes straight for the Ice Punch. Ice Punch forces the first Protect Shield. The opponent farms up to a potential Shadow Ball. Do they even have Shadow Ball, or are they on double debuff moves? They actually fire off an Icy Wind, so I'm unsure, to be honest. Maybe we'll find out. We make the next Ice Punch. Ice Punch goes unshielded, and the opponent then concede the match. I'm guessing they were on double debuff moves. Moving on to the next one. It's like deja vu, yet another Metachan. Holy crap, people love this basic bitch fighter. Venusaur farms up, fires off the Frenzy Plant, draws a Protect Shield, the opponent farms up to a potential Psychic. However, we're calling the Ice Punch bait and we look to catch it on Poliwrath. What a play, we do catch the bait. The opponent happy to stay in here as they are going to be able to outpace us to a potential Psychic. We are going to respect it, and again the opponent throws an Ice Punch. However, Vegeta, undeterred, going to farm up, throw the Scald will be securing the knockout. Let's see if the opponent has another Poliwrath answer. The opponent having a think, and clearly they do not. Unfortunately, we don't have Dynamic Punch, but this Scald, even resisted, is going to get them quite low with all the residual counter damage. Dugong already into the red. The opponent going to fire off a charge move. Poliwrath going on an absolute rampage. Vegeta now sends out Venusaur. If the opponent doesn't pivot, they're going to get Vine Whip farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Umbreon. So this is pretty much the same team that we saw earlier in the video. They're just using Metachan instead of Defense Deoxys with Dugong and Umbreon in the back. We attempt to catch the foul play onto Greninja. We then throw the Hydro Cannon. Umbreon might as well top left, as the only win con for the opponent pretty much is us having a heart attack. And Vegeta is alive and well, don't worry guys. The opponent throws the Psychic that does absolutely nothing and then gracefully concede the match. Moving on to the next one. Venusaur into Shadow Vic, a great lead, as the Razor Leaves are double resisted. The opponent attempts to catch a Sludge Bomb onto Bastiodon and Trainer. That is some mistake, as we have got one of the hardest checks for Bastiodon in the form of Poliwrath. Poliwrath doesn't care about any of Bastiodon's stupid charge moves. They throw the Stone Edge. Poliwrath commits to the full counter farm down. If they return with Shadow Vic, we should be able to get off double Ice Punches. The opponent waiting out their clock. I believe that's actually a Charmer that's coming in. I think that's a Charm animation. I'm not sure. Actually is Wigglytuff. We fire off the Ice Punch. We're now going to fire off the Scald. Scald going to get Wigglytuff super low. Wigglytuff gets the full Charm down, farm down. We send in Greninja. Back out comes Vic, and Venusaur is going to go for a Master Baiting session. Throwing the double resisted Frenzy Plant. The opponent calls the bait. What an absolute savage. However, as we've still got 2 Protect Shields to hide beyond, we should be right here. I think the correct play is just to go for the full fast move beatdown. Vegeta doesn't agree and is going to start unleashing charge moves. I'd just go for the fast move beatdown, because every time we throw a charge move, we're giving away 3 turns of energy. Venusaur now going to get Razor Leaf farmed all the way down. Vic so low. In comes Greninja. The opponent going to throw a charge move. We still have a Protect Shield to hide behind. We shield up the Leaf Blade. We leave with the Hydro Cannon, and that is going to seal the opponent's fate. GG's and thanks for playing. And that is going to draw to a close today's Shoutcast. Huge shout out to Vegeta for a really fun battle submission. It looks like we've got 2 new water type top meta threats in the Great League. Both Greninja and Poliwrath found some really good play, able to handle some top meta threats. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you'd like to join the Discord where we stream live every day, that's linked down below. If you like your battles featured on my channel, my battle submission form is also linked down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for all the support and for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.